Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Saturday Spotlight. I'm so excited to have you. I have an absolutely fantastic person, author, illustrator, community staple, everything here with us today. I would love to introduce you guys to Donovan Scherer. How are you, Donovan?
Hello, I'm great. I'm Donovan Scherer. I write books and publish books, and I made too many of them, so I had to open a bookstore to keep them all in. So that's Studio Moonfall is the name of the business.
Yeah. So Donovan runs Studio Moonfall in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Donovan and I have actually met. That's how we met. But he also does a Fear and Sunshine series, as well as illustrations for those and all sorts of things. Even coloring books, which have been a big hit. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah, the coloring books I do those just about every month is what I try to hit, but sometimes I'll change it up and do different things like D&D adventures, or we're doing a mystery themed thing for next month instead of the monthly coloring book. But yeah, with the coloring books and then journals, I did a bunch of artwork for those, and then the Fear and Sunshine books and some other middle grade chapter books. I'm up to 171 books I've published now.
That's incredible. You're going to start rivaling R.L. Stine soon. I think last I heard
Yeah,
he was
we're
at
going.
330. You're halfway there.
I could catch up.
I believe it. And so on top of all of this, you also host a summer event, which is a personal favorite of mine, the Kenosha Book Fair, or I'm sorry, Book Festival.
Yep,
And you're adding a Kenosha Comic-Con around the same time, is that right?
yep. Yeah, we did 6 of the Kenosha Book Festivals last year, so we're doing another 6 this year. And it went so well, I want to just keep adding more that I can do outside of the store. And it brings a lot of people out, so we're starting with 4 of the Kenosha Comic Cons for the outdoor events this summer, and then we'll be doing a bigger indoor, a 2-day Comic Con in October. And we got some cool guests already. We have Philo Barnhart. He was the character designer for Little Mermaid, and Karen Johnson. She was the lead animator for Fern Gully, and it should be cool. It's going to be a very panel focused Comic Con for the October event instead of we have a smaller venue, so we can't have a bunch of vendors like a lot of the other ones around here. So we've got a few other shows in Kenosha that are toy and collectible shows. So those are a good place for all that. But I wanted to make mine different, so we're going to be able to do more work together and not be competing with each other. So panels it is.
I love that. I love how you are just so talented at bringing people together, right? With these panels, you're bringing in all sorts of, artists and animators that people love. But even for your book festivals, you're up to 56 authors, if I remember correctly, for this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot more authors. I'm not sure how many different authors we had for 2023, but for this year, yeah, we are currently at 56, and we'll probably get up higher than that. I have a few more openings for people that the dates ended up not working out. So we'll see over the next week or so if we can crack into 60 different authors for this year.
I would love that for you. It's such a great event to be a part of, and I'm so grateful that you create space for people around you like that because, you're an author, you're an illustrator, but you're still helping lift everybody up with you, and I think that that's not necessarily super common and is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I come from the garage band days where people had all their bands from like high school kids and everything. So I went from doing the music stuff. I didn't do that very long, and I just went into hosting concerts for all ages shows. We'd rent out bars or venues and then have all the kids bands playing. And we had some stellar events back then. So now I just switched art forms, and I'm doing the same thing as like a battle of the bands, just with authors and artists now instead of music, just because my I don't know any local bands anymore. So we'll stick with the people I know. Plus, it's a better fit for what I do myself with all my own books and having a bookstore. So
Yeah. What kind of led you down this path to be, author, illustrator, bookstore owner extraordinaire?
Well, it started with the author illustrator part of it. I've been doing the books since 2009. I just started with little mini stories, like coloring book adventures, like Dora the Explorer kind of stuff for Fear and Sunshine. And then I ended up doing the first two books in 2009 as chapter books and got into self-publishing and all that. And I was early enough in the Amazon self-publishing scene that I got to team up with some like real cool people that were doing big things, who are now the people like running conferences with all the indie authors now. So I got to learn a lot. I found people who were just a few steps ahead of me, and then just got to follow what they were doing for my own stuff. Um, I've only met, I think, two other authors in this whole time, though, that have also started bookstores. This was, it was not intentional. I never set out to open a store. I rented the space that I have to be more of a showroom for my own stuff and a workspace, so I could do all my artwork and everything like that. Kind of like a book-centered makerspace was what I was going to go for originally, but I opened at the end of 2019, so I had to pivot for COVID shutdowns, and it made more sense to focus on the retail side of things, and that worked out well. I got to start bringing in all the other authors, like your books and many others, and then the best way to get people coming to the store, because it's off the beaten path and it's small and kind of hard to find, doing the book festivals ended up being the best way to get a bunch of foot traffic to the shop. So we're doing 10 outdoor events this summer, so it's going to be a busy one with the Comic-Cons and the book festivals.
That is, and then right after the book festivals, you usually leave for a conference, right? So you're jam-packed for a couple months.
Oh yeah. I'm booked out through the rest of the year. We have well, I'm doing the Author Nation conference in Las Vegas, so I'll be I as far as I know, I'm a speaker there. I should check into that. I've been juggling too many projects. Um, but yeah, we'll be doing that. I am not doing so many comic conventions as I used to. Originally, that's another reason I opened the bookstore, was that the main way of selling my books was through comic conventions or farmers markets. So I was just good at live sales, and I'm terrible at online sales. And but the in-person sales are more natural for me. But with the store, I ended up phasing out most of the Comic Cons that I do. And around 2018, I suppose, I just kept seeing, with like one big mouse buying up all the intellectual property for all the stuff that people are doing, like fan art and things of for Comic Cons. They could just send in one lawyer with a stack of cease and desists and shut down that entire industry. So those part of the initial reasons for opening the store was just to have a backup plan for being able to do in-person sales in case the Comic-Con scene closed up, which it ended up doing in 2020. And now I'm still not doing many Comic-Cons, but I'm getting more into the gaming conventions with Gary Con and Phoenix Con and maybe some others for later this year.
Yes, and for anyone who doesn't know what GaryCon is, it usually happens in March, and it is a huge D&D convention because, and Donovan, correct me if I'm wrong, because you might be slightly more knowledgeable than me, but one of the main creators of D&D is from right around Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah, out in Lake Geneva, that's where
Lake
they have
Geneva.
their main headquarters, and started the game up, and now everybody converges back there as celebration for Gary Gygax. So it's run by his son Luke, and yeah, it's they're actually doing a second event this weekend. So they have the Founders and Legends event going on. So you get a bunch of the old school guys coming in for that, and then they have the main Gary Con starts up next Thursday. So I'll be out there for the second year as a vendor. I'm started up my own Goblin one-shot adventures. I'm going to try and get a couple more done before then. And I am hopefully going to be teaming up with Lou Gygax to do a coloring book based on his Shintupi world for his Akarim books. So we'll be doing a coloring book of all the monsters. I got to draw up a bunch of monsters, though, to give them a reminder that we had talked about that at one point, just to make sure that still happens. But I'm juggling a lot of projects, so things keep slipping behind. But I should be able to get a few pictures done before next week.
That's great. And so, but one of the things that I always see you drawing are your zombies, right? You want to tell people what the zombies are?
So yeah, the zombies, those so I had published the first two Fear and Sunshine books in 2009, and then in my brilliant efforts to try to sell the book, I decided the best way to do it would be to teach myself coding and make an iPhone and Android game based on the series, where you would shoot brains at zombie beans with a cannon. So I wanted to go like the G.I. Joe route, like making a cartoon in order to sell toys. I was making a video game in order to sell books, which the game did okay. It doesn't exist anymore because the code all got outdated, and I got to a point in the coding where it was just beyond what I was capable of doing, unless I was to focus on it as like a really full-time effort. So the zombies, they don't exist in the game anymore, but they do exist in coloring books. We do the Night of the Living Zombies series and some other like fan art zombies. But for the Night of the Living Zombies, the artwork in there, those are all people who are signed up for my Patreon. So people that sign up for the monthly coloring books, they get drawn as a zombie, and then they're part of that whole series. And they can get T-shirts with their own bean on it.
I love it. They're always so cute to watch come up in post. So I know that you're juggling a ton of projects right now, and you know we're in April right now when this releases. So what is coming up from you for April and beyond?
So right now, oh, hang on really quick. The big thing I'm doing right now, aside from planning the Kenosha Book Festival, is the Color of Kenosha coloring books. So I'm wrapping up signups for that. March 20th, I'm aiming to close up all the signups for all the businesses. It's a local business-based coloring book. So I draw a picture for the businesses, and then everybody that is participating in it gets copies of the book. So we're all cross-promoting each other throughout Kenosha. And it helps spread the word for the bookstore and everything and advertise the businesses. This is going to be the 8th book of that series. And I just finished up the cover artwork for that. And then we've got the book is going to be coming out in May. So I'm going to have another like 80 illustrations to finish up by mid-April in order to get to the printer, because we do a big print run of a couple thousand for that one. And then that'll be nice once that's done. And then I'm doing another Pleasant Prairie book as well. That one should be a bit quicker. And ideally, I'll get them done simultaneously so I can save on some freight costs for getting 4,000 books shipped over to me. So,
oh my
yeah.
goodness. The good thing you
and
have
my
the
store's
bookstore.
tiny. I don't know where to put them. Yeah. No, I don't have space for that many, though. But they get out to people right away, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, once I get that knocked out, we'll be into the summer season with the Kenosha Book Festival and the Kenosha Comic-Con. And then it's just getting back to summer mode for running the store. We get a lot of tourists around here, so that helps keep the foot traffic up, and then just focusing on production in my little bit of extra time throughout the day. So do that book a month schedule.
Yeah, your very tiny bit of extra time per month,
Yeah.
right? And if people want to, learn more about you, the book festival, anything and everything, where's the best place to learn about what you're up to?
StudioMoonfall.com is the main website. The Studio Moonfall Facebook page is where I put out the most content and everything. So I share all the different authors' books that we have in the store or anything going on. Like you could even check out the Studio Moonfall YouTube channel if you want to learn about the interns and their adventures. We've got a whole bunch of alien interns learning the ways of humanity and bookstore running, but you'd just have to check out YouTube for that.
They're very cute. And is his name Goober? That one's my favorite. It's not one of the interns. He's like this
Bugs.
big.
Yep. Yeah, there's Bugs. He's the
Bugs.
booger.
Yes.
He's Bugs and Walzo. Walzo's one of the zombies as a plushie. They would do the uh, unboxing videos for whenever I get deliveries in the store. So there's a bunch of those videos on the YouTube channel too. And now we have Bookly who does the book reviews or the book description videos. Those are the main thing that we do now with I've started trading marketing for authors. So I'm carrying indie author books, and instead of just buying out all the inventory, I'm setting up year-long marketing packages, which include a video by a little robot telling the world about it, a time-traveling little robot. There's a whole backstory that I'll maybe eventually get into with Bookly.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with me and everyone else today. I'm so grateful to have you on here. I look forward to seeing you in a couple months at the Kenosha Book Festival. And
Yeah.
to everyone watching, go check out Donovan. He is a fantastic person, author, illustrator, community staple, bookstore owner, absolutely everything. There's just something for everyone. So be sure to check him out. Check out Studio Moonfall in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's right by the lake. It's super pretty. And I hope everyone has a good weekend and a good week. Bye.